Okay, so simplifying the battlefield. This is just referring to, again, the amount of distractions that we've got. Like, if I come around to any of your houses, like even if you have a neat house, I'm sure that you have a whole bunch of stuff hidden away, and you're just like, I don't even use this stuff anymore. Like your kitchen or your garage or wardrobe or whatever, you just acquire stuff. And like even sitting in my office right now, there's like a bit of sort of clutter around, and it's like distracting because it's like a lot of the stuff, it's like it could be put away somewhere, or I'm even looking at it sort of going, do I even need that? Like, so the first part is the whole point of this is to remove all these distractions. So you've got three steps: your physical environment, commitments, and then your internal state. So the physical's the easiest one to implement because it's just, okay, yep, I'm going to go into this room. Everyone's done it when you have a cull, when you have a massive cull or you move house and you just chuck heaps of stuff out and you're just like, you feel lighter because you just got rid of all these things. I did it the other day with the fridge. Like the fridge, I've been looking at the fridge for ages and it's just full of stuff, needs to be cleaned out, putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. And then finally just bit the bullet the other day and was like, I'm just going to do it. And just threw out all this stuff that didn't need to be in there, cleaned it, and then put it all back in. And it's all of a sudden, it's just like whenever I open the fridge, like my brain goes, like you want to have all these moments throughout the day rather than walking around going, man, I should be doing this. Oh, look at that thing. So you can start out with the small areas like, yeah, your fridge or your desk or like just one room, and then move up to like bigger places like the garage or the shed or something like that. It could be like one a day or one a week, but you're just working to just simplify your physical environment. Next one is your commitments. All right, most people are just massively overcommitted. They're trying to do too much at the same time. You can't. Like realistically, you can only do like a few things at once. So you're looking at your commitments, all of them, and kind of going, okay, I'm only going to focus on like 20%. Like that's like really with all the stuff you're doing, that's like maybe two or three things that you're like, I'm really going to focus on these, and everything else has got to go. It's got to go. You've got to be like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to focus on these activities to the exclusion of everything else. And it's got to be the stuff that you're really keen on, like you really want to nail that. Everything else has got to go. Most people are just massively overcommitted. It's like oh man, you ever met someone who's got a kid and the kid has got like they're in like multiple sporting teams and band and tutoring and blah blah blah, and it's like the kid's like 8 and they're studying like and the umpteenth amount of activities, so like the person's just running around like a headless chook, constantly trying to get their kid from point A to point B, point A to point B, because it's just this epic, long, drawn-out process. Because the kid's got school, and after school, it's on Monday it's this, and Tuesday it's this, and Wednesday it's this, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and then on the weekends it's this, and blah 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 blah. Like it's the same concept. So you could have like, man, you might even need to simplify what your kids are doing. Like, do they really need to be doing all that stuff? Why don't you spend some time with them yourself? Like, get some quality time with them rather than just outsourcing your kids' time to everybody. Um, so apply that concept to your commitments. Like most people and to tie it back to um, like health and fitness. For example, a lot of people you write them a training program and then you'll ask them later, hey, have you been doing this stuff? And like, no. And then you ask them, like, they were never going to do it. Like, they had too many other commitments with their time that they're not going to break. They're important for some reason. So you were like, oh, yeah, on Friday do this activity, this workout. They were never going to do it. Ever. So it's like, well, why don't you say that at the start? Like, why would you just smile and nod and go, yep, 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 I'll do that, 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 I'll do that. When in reality, if you just thought about it for like 2 minutes, you're like, actually, no, I can't actually train 6 days a week. I can only train 3 days a week. Like, whatever it might be. So, apply that principle to your commitments. Like, just get rid of all the fluff that is just wasting time. And then the final one is your internal state. Now, this is the tricky one. Because if it was nice and easy to just go, oh, I don't need that, piece of rubbish in my head, like everyone will be fine. But what you're doing is you're being aware of like limiting beliefs, limiting habits, emotional baggage, relationships, stuff like that that's not working for you, but you're just going along with it. So again, it's being aware of it and actually kind of going like you might have this beliefs is we'll focus on just beliefs. Everyone's got limiting beliefs about what they can and can't do. So if you're not doing something or you're trying to do something and you're not doing it well, you can guarantee that somewhere in there there's a belief that you have about yourself which is stopping you from doing it. So by being aware of this, when a thought comes up and you notice your instinctive reaction is to pull away or say no or I can't do that or something, you kind of like, okay, well, wait a minute, where's that coming from? Like, why am I thinking this? And again, you might not know the root cause of where the belief came from, but you suddenly identify that, again, so I'll relate it back to an example that always works with me. So I'm running a business, but I've never studied business. Like, I've never been to university or anything like that. So I'm running a business, but I've never studied business. And this plays on my mind all the time because I'll go to implement stuff and do stuff. And in the back of my brain, my subconscious mind is telling me, you don't know what you're doing. You haven't done this. You've never studied at uni. You're not qualified to do this. You can't. It's telling me you can't do this simply because I haven't been to university. Like, but the thing is, a lot of the stuff that comes with running a business, you can just figure it out yourself. Like, you don't need to go to university. Like, that's useful, but you don't need it. So I encounter this like almost on a daily basis. Like, I'm like, yeah, I should go do this, and then this back here, some part of me goes, nah, man, you haven't been to uni. You can't do that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just then once you recognize like what that is, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's just a limiting belief. So that means I actually can do it. So I'm going to go off and do it. And so that's what working on your internal environment, like it's like learning how to get rid of those things or at least identify them so that when they spring up, you can just go, okay, cool, that's just a belief I have and just push it aside because it's not really the beliefs that your limiting beliefs that are defining what you can do. It's like the actions that you're taking. Like if you can still take the action, you'll still get the result. So that's what we're going to. So that's simplifying the battlefield. So you got the 3 ones: physical environment. That's the easiest. It starts the process, and then you've got your commitments. Again, just you only get so much time in the week. And then third one, internal state, and expect that when you actually start to implement this stuff, especially when it comes to commitments and internal junk, especially if it's relationships and things, expect that there's going to be fallout. Get over it. You can't keep everyone happy. If you're going to spend your whole life trying to keep everyone else happy, you're not going to win. So expect fallout. Like, pretty much know that like you're going to annoy some people and just build a bridge and get over it. Right, bye.